Hi, my name is Fatima Iqbal. I'm with Azzad Asset Management, and today we are with Christian Greiner, the lead portfolio manager of the Azzad Ethical Fund, to talk a little bit about how the fund did in the third quarter of 2015. So thanks for having us, Christian.
Oh, no problem.
To get us started, this was a challenging quarter, I would say, for investors and fund managers. So can you tell us a little bit about what happened this quarter?
Well, this quarter, what we saw was the S&P 500 sell-off by 6.4% for the quarter. What we saw was the market underwent a correction, really its first one in about 4 years. And with that kind of volatility, it also took down the year-to-date return to minus 5.3% for the quarter. Mid-cap growth stocks fell 8% on the quarter. But year to date, they're only down 4.1%, slightly outperforming the S&P 500. If we take a look at the broader market in general, what helped the market returns were utilities and staple stocks. So when we enter times of market volatility, what we see is investors go back to the old playbook, and that they go and into these stocks that are seen as safe havens. What also helped was the consumer discretionary sector. People are still believing that the U.S. economy is strong and that there's good returns to be found in retailers and home builders and auto stocks and such. When we take a look at what hurt returns for the broad market during the third quarter, we first take a look at the energy and material sector. Each of those sold off by over 16%. What we saw was a sell-off in the underlying commodities, which hurt the shares of the companies that bring oil and copper and paper to market. What we also saw hurt was there was a sell-off in biotech. We're getting some regulation fears about pricing in biotechs. Plus, we saw that valuations were getting a bit high in some of the smaller and mid-cap names. And so some will tell you that a sell-off is due there, and that's what we saw.
Well, in general, that was great in general, and now more specifically about the fund. For the Azzad Ethical Fund, what would you say were the factors that helped the performance this quarter?
Well, the factors that helped the performance, I just mentioned the biotech and pharma sector. And while we're overweight that sector, the fund usually is, our stock picking in there actually helped us outperform the sector return in general there. And what we saw is that we are in some stocks that are more focused on cash flows, but also have some good prospects, rather than ones that are the more speculative plays within the biotech and pharma space. We also saw stock picking help us with the semiconductors. Semiconductors are another area that had a really rough quarter. Our stock picking helped us weather it a bit better than the benchmark in general. We also had some good stock picking in the software industry, and we also had some nice performance from our commercial and professional services stocks, which were once again helped by the strong U.S. employment picture.
And again, it was a challenging quarter, so what would you say really hurt the performance of the fund?
Well, when we take a look at it, at the numbers, what we take a look at is really the consumer sector. And when I say that, I mean consumer discretionary and consumer staples. Within the consumer discretionary space, we had several brick and mortar retailers really have a hard time posting sales growth on the quarter, and that hurt our performance. Within the consumer durable space, we actually saw some of our names that were really good performers for us sell off during the quarter. And what we saw is that some retail names are actually squeezing their distributors as these sales slow down, looking for better terms, and that hurt a couple of our names. Within the consumer staple space, we had one name, a specialty foods distributor, that lost one of their largest customers. That's something that's hard to model for, but something that's going to happen from time to time. This customer thought that they could go off and do it better on their own. We'll see if that's true, but that's what hurt performance there.
All right. Well, thank you, Christian. We appreciate the info you've shared with us today. Again, I'm here with Christian Greiner from Ziegler Capital Management, the lead portfolio manager for the Azzad Ethical Fund. Please watch this video and others on our YouTube page for Azzad Asset Management. I'm Fatima Iqbal. Thank you for watching.